Wait a minute. How is this even supposed to work? Hey guys, DB Right here, and today I am starting a new what if today, one that's been suggested to me a couple of times in the comment section. And this is, what if Goku and Frieza were sent to Earth? And, well, I guarantee you're probably asking, how's that even supposed to work, DB Right? How is it even possible? Well, with a bit of thinking, I think I may have found a way to help it work. And well, this would have to go on assuming that even if Frieza is even the same Frieza that we know and love from the original story. And well, essentially, basically, he couldn't be. So, anyway, without further ado, let's get into it, and you guys can judge for yourself. So, our story begins on planet Vegeta, and well, not long ago, Bardock and Gine had just essentially had their first child in Raditz, and well, with Gine being protective of him and whatnot, he pretty much grows up the way I suppose he does in every version of the story. Eventually he ends up in the military and is assigned to conquer planets with Prince Vegeta and Nappa. However, in the meantime, King Cold is contemplating his retirement. However, he's ultimately decided to essentially not give the job to his son Cooler, because, well, as it turns out, Cooler is just too much like him. And essentially, for whatever reason, King Cold doesn't really want that. He wants someone who's gonna take everything in a new direction, so he has decided that he needs to have another child. Now, don't ask me how the Frost Demons reproduce. I think it's all done by cloning, actually. I think Cooler was made essentially by a piece of Cold's DNA. So I would imagine that so would Frieza. And I'm pretty sure the traits that that Cooler and Frieza inherit are also hand-picked by King Cold. In other words, he can program them into his offspring. Which, okay, his first investment in Cooler turned out not to be what he wanted. And so, I guess you could say with this child, he's trying to make him a bit more radical, a bit more free thinking and outside the box thinking than what he would consider. And well, while some of that does essentially begins to work, suddenly there is a malfunction in the machinery that's supposed to be programming Frieza, and some of the traits are getting jumbled up to the point that when Frieza is brought to life and brought into the universe, he politely greets his father with a "Hello, Daddy." And while King Cold thought, well, this was a respectful greeting enough, nothing that his teachings can't sort of unfix, and well, he definitely displayed something that was different to Cooler right off the bat, the sort of child and parent dependency, which Cooler didn't really have that. He was pretty much like his father right off the bat, and King Cold's questioning this, but Maybe it's just part of the programming, maybe it hasn't all quite kicked in yet, so we'll give it a little while. However, it becomes quickly that things are not meant to change, and King Cold not in so much of a hurry to throw away his offspring. Maybe he can teach him what he wants him to be. So, with getting right into Frieza's studies, learning all about the planets and the universes and how they serve the Cold Empire, which should one day be called the Frieza Empire. I say should. It ain't happening. Frieza just doesn't understand. But, Daddy, can't these planets self-govern themselves? Frieza just completely missing the point of what's going on. Well, don't get me wrong, Frieza is still pretty smart, but he just doesn't understand why they're conquering planets and killing people when it's unnecessary, where simply, like, why can't we aid them with technology and earn our fortune that way? And probably not a bad decision, but King Cold would just simply mutter, "We are the supreme beings, Lord Frieza." Frieza. I was thinking Zarbon for a second there. "We are the supreme beings, Frieza. It is not our nature to simply give away our superiority. No. Everyone must bow down before it." And well, just like with the original Frieza, he does warn him that there are beings he should never fight, such as Majin Buu and Lord Beerus. Pretty much the only two beings in the known universe capable of bringing them down, and it's best to try and stay clear of them as much as possible. And while Frieza gets that part, he still doesn't understand the cruelty of what his father's doing. Damn machinery, malfunctioning, messing up Frieza's programming. How dare they? And well, one day, and this is just prior to what would have been King Cold and Frieza's arrival on Planet Vegeta in the Broly movie, King Cold decides to put Frieza through a bit of a make it or break it test. If Frieza doesn't do what he's told, then he's worth nothing to King Cold, and he will simply banish him to the cosmos of space, in the empty space there to pretty much die. And well, that test, they arrested a Saiyan who was caught doing a bit of thievery. Just one of those sort of street urchin Saiyans. Ones that basically have weak power levels, no place at all in Saiyan society, or even useful to the Frieza Empire whatsoever. And so, King Cold has ordered Frieza to mercilessly execute this Saiyan child. And well, Frieza does power up a death beam and pointing at him, but seeing the terrified look on the child's face and crying, and he's about to be executed over a loaf of bread, Frieza puts down his hand and says, "I can't do it, Father. I can't. This is wrong." And well, King Cold just smirks. "That's okay, son." And King Cold basically obliterates the Saiyan child right in front of Frieza. It would seem you are a bad investment, Frieza. Guards, I order you to take Frieza out of my sight. Banish him. Send him somewhere where I won't have to think about the brat again. Yep, definitely some parent cruelty, and essentially, Frieza is shoved in a Saiyan space pod, and before they launch it, the guards do mess around with enough of the controls that the thing is practically malfunctioning, which means the space pod could end up going quite literally anywhere. And while it's launched, you got a terrified Frieza moving about the pod as he is then put into that animated stasis, that the hibernation, and that'll last for as long as it's going to run out. Bottom line is Frieza is supposed to die in the loneliness of space. After all, nothing to eat or anything out there. Assuming that King Cold and Frieza actually have to eat, which I'm pretty sure they do. Unless eating and dining on wine is actually just simply a luxury. That depends. I don't know frost demon biology, people! And, well, so once again, King Cold is once again trying to create yet another child in his image, and this time he's going to supervise the programming himself. And well, this time the machines work, and we get a new brother of Frieza, Frozen. I know, probably could have made a bit more of an effort to think of a name for the youngest brother of Frieza, but I thought Frozen sounded, scary-ish. All hail Lord Frozen. And well, he definitely ascends. Now this is the type of offspring he wanted. Intelligent, he's picking up the studies fast, and does find quite amusement on how the Cold Empire works. Oh, how amusing. You mean I get to boss all these people around, and if they don't do anything, I get to kill them? Oh, yes. This one is very much looking forward to taking over as the new Emperor of the Universe. And, well, even though they arrive a little bit, later than, well, by later I mean like a month or two later, because this guy picked up his studies a lot quicker than Cooler, and definitely a lot quicker than Frieza would have. Oh yes, this was an offspring to be proud of. Now it was time to introduce him to the many planets that he would take over for. Planet Vegeta being the first stop. And well, King Vegeta and all that are being all compliant. Meanwhile, of course, like in the Broly movie, they have snipers trained on them. And, well, with King Cold stepping down at his retirement, effective immediately, we get the same sort of speech. Hello, monkeys. From this day on, you'll be serving me, Lord Frozen. Yes, he and Frieza pretty much have the same sort of voice. Or, hang on, maybe I can come up with a different one. Oh, hello, monkeys. You'll be serving me from now on. I am Lord Frozen, your new ruler. If you serve me quite as well as you served my father, then we won't have any problems. His scout goes off. Oh my, it would seem you have some snipers trained on us. Is that any way to welcome your new ruler? And with a single beam of his single key blast from his finger that splits off in about 4, he takes out about 4 snipers. Impressive, aren't they? These are the new model scouters, which I now leave before you as a gift. If they're not working well as you would like, feel free to complain, but I think we all know what will happen. Ta-ta! And essentially, they are off. So that pretty much went like in the original version. And then we get the whole Vegeta, banishing Broly. That whole thing still plays out. And now, we head into the 5-year time skip. And Bardock is returning home. And well, they're all talking about Lord Frozen, and that there's this strange callback order. So yeah, essentially Frozen is taking over the role of Frieza in this story. And, he could be planning to get rid of us. The Frieza force is now becoming to the point that he could probably do without us pesky Saiyans getting in the way. I'm just saying, it's only a possibility. And of course, Saiyans think he's joking, but after hearing talk from the other Saiyans that Frieza's men are going around asking about Super Saiyans and the Super Saiyan God, well, this is where Bardock is deciding that, well, he wants to get a pod and get Kakarot off-world as soon as possible, fearing that Lord Frozen is about to blow up the planet. And of course, just like in the original, he turns out to be right. And well, just like in the original, Gine and Bardock steal Kakarot a pod and do indeed send him off-world, and he's on his way to Earth. Now meanwhile, as to Frieza, with all the coordinates constantly malfunctioning and changing, it finally does settle on these coordinates. And it turns out they're the same coordinates where little Kakarot is on his way right now. Yes, both Frieza and Goku are now heading to Earth. Now, Kakarot ends up landing in Mount Palzu like he does in the original. Now, as for Frieza, Frieza lands in the forests just I believe west of West City, and essentially he's found by Dr. Briefs. Dr. Briefs, who was out trying to look for materials for a new experiment, something interesting and weird. We know what Dr. Briefs is like. Well, what is this then? Seems to be like a spacecraft of some sort. Here, what do you think, referring to his little cat on his shoulder? Meow! Well, let's get a look in here. And, well, as he looks inside, something just jumps out of the space pod, and it turns out to be Frieza. My, you're an energetic fella, aren't you? What's your name? My name's Dr. Briefs.
Get away from me! Saiyan?
He actually mistakes a human for a Saiyan. Well, who could blame him? You know, humans do look a lot like Saiyans except for their black hair and tails. A Saiyan? What exactly is a Saiyan? I'm afraid I am a human being, child, and this is the planet Earth. Where are you from?
Code base 0001.
How interesting. Well, if you have nowhere to go, you're more than welcome to come with me.
Yeah, I'm not in the habit of just following strangers.
Suddenly, Frieza's stomach begins to growl. Oh my, you're a hungry one, are you? Here, have some of this. Dr. Briefs pulls out a wrapper, turns out to be chocolate. Frieza's smelling this, and he is liking the smell, and essentially he is following Dr. Briefs home until they're close enough till he can just hands him the chocolate, and Frieza's more or less just following him along. He is wondering about the spaceship though. Well, don't worry about your little spacecraft. I'll have one of my employees pick it up. No problem. They're quite discreet. And well, they arrive at Capsule Corp, and well, this is where Bulma, who's, I'm guessing at this point of the story, she'd be about 10, maybe 11. An 11-year-old Bulma, along with her mother, are introduced to who is now the new addition to their family. This is, I didn't get your name before.
My name is Frieza. It's
Nice to meet you. You're named after a refrigerator? Wow, how interesting. Where'd you find him? Well, I found him in that, as he's pointing up to the space pod that's now essentially being lifted and brought over to the Capsule Corporation. And as Bulma gets a closer look at Frieza, you know what? You kind of remind me of Jocko.
Jocko? What's a Jocko?
He's a member of the Galactic Patrol. He has a spaceship too. And, well, with that, Frieza is, somewhat settling in. However, there is a little bit of a problem, is that parts of his power begin leaking out. Because I would believe that when a Frost Demon is born, they're automatically born as their final form. Because that's pretty much their normal form. And well, Frieza is at that stage where he's got to start learning how to suppress that power with transformations. And I think that's where we'll leave things for right now. So what do you guys think? Did you enjoy this part of the story? Essentially, yes, it was an origin story because we needed that to get the story going. You know, how are things going to go with a story with not just a Goku being on Earth, but we've got a mild-mannered Frieza on the planet. Well, all this and more next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the story, and don't forget to leave your comments. Alright, catch you later.